Hi guys, it's been a bit since I made one of these. I hope everyone is well. It is such a beautiful day out, a little cold, and I have my dog with me so he doesn't see a squirrel, another human, anything. And yeah, I have a message today that's kind of been building up inside, and it's twofold. It's about friendships and being alone and the value of solitude and isolation during this journey. It is a balance between the two. So let's be it. The first part is why it's so valuable to spend a majority of this time alone and deeply introspective, I suppose. Now, I'm not suggesting in any way to completely isolate and become a hermit, but here are a few of the reasons why it is important to spend a good chunk of time with ourselves, because one behavior that's quite common, in order to avoid feeling and healing deeply is to keep ourselves busy, is to keep ourselves occupied. And we can do that by hopping around to different people. So what is so valuable about having this time alone is because you or we are the only ones capable of understanding. We are our own best friend. We are the ones that can give ourselves the best advice, because no one knows us better than ourselves. Now, other people are very important because they shine different perspectives. They allow us to see ourselves from different angles. They mirror different aspects of ourselves so that we can go deeper. We can only reach a certain level. I know this is very contradictory, but we can only achieve so much on our own. That's the flip side. Let me do a better job of explaining this. It's like when we're out in the world with other people, they mirror back a ton of awarenesses. But we need that alone time to process, because if we were to continue spending time with those people, we would never allow our bodies to integrate all those lessons and messages that we've been acquiring from our time out in the world. We might actually, so say we have 3 core people that you spend a lot of time with: person A, person B, person C. But lately, person C has been the most available, so I keep spending time with person C. And it's pulling us away, kind of like a rubber band, away from ourselves. And when that snapback happens, we're gonna have so much to sit with and understand and gain perspective on. Whereas if we're always making a little bit of space and a little bit of time each day to process that information and absorb it by journaling is amazing. Just 15 minutes a day to process some of those awarenesses. And why having a therapist is different than surrounding ourselves with people is because we're paying for their energy and their time, and they are literally being paid to reflect back to us. They are doing what we do alone, but kind of helping us to get some of those awarenesses out in the open and be able to see them a little bit better. They help us kind of to paint what's going on inside. We can't really expect friends to do the same thing, because that's an exchange of energy in a different way, where we are kind of mirroring aspects and shadows of each other, we still need time to process it on our own. So another reason why, if you're a very highly sensitive person, very intuitive, we connect with Source, with God. We're shown our creative abilities when we're alone. Same thing, we can find inspiration in the world outside. But for us to actually create and go deeply within ourselves, a good place to practice is in that quiet, so that we don't have anything interrupting us. We're not afraid of judgment. We're not afraid of other people's opinions or perspectives. And we come from a very healthy family and Source. Just you and Source. And the best way to tap into that flow, like right now, for example, these videos, I can't even be in my house most of the time when I'm doing this, because I need to just be in my energy with God, maybe my dog, but as much outside. And I would pick an even more nature-filled spot if I had the time, and I probably will later. I'll probably make another one later, because I love it. It feels so good to just be in your energy, and you can just release everything. The snow is so purifying to just... I was talking to a friend last night, and something came through that, a message about nature teaching us so much more than any book can speak. Because when we're reading, when we're acquiring knowledge, we're only using a portion of our body. We're just using our mind. But when we're in nature and we're picking up lessons, our whole body interprets and can feel that. And it does something to us. It completely zens us out. Completely yeah, it can teach us more than 50 pages. I personally feel. And that we're meant to be here to remember, not so much to acquire knowledge, but to remember the information of so many past lifetimes. Again, why that solitude and personal time is so integral. Now, the other side of this, we need community. We are communal beings. We are meant to be a part of society in however you define that. We were tribal beings. We're only here because we worked together to be here. Okay? We had to learn how to grow food. We had to learn how to... We're stronger in numbers. And here's the image I keep seeing. I keep seeing my favorite picture ever. I tried to put it into my book. Is this picture, but I couldn't find the author, so I didn't, want to plagiarize it. So it's this picture of this little man, and he's this cartoon man, and he's all yellow. He's brimming with light, and all the people around him are white, just clear, opaque. But the ones closest to him are starting to fill with light. So the ones closest are 70% light, then farther out 50, 40, 30, 10, until all the opaque figures. And it's just a message of how shining your light can affect others. So if you bring light into an environment, others are going to pick up on that, and they're going to feel that. That's the best way to make a change in the world, is to be ourselves, to be with ourselves so genuinely and so authentically that we show up just supercharged, super powered with our own energy, and we feel good because we're not absorbing it. So I love that picture, but the image I keep seeing is of us vibrating with all these people that are higher energy. So say your vibration is like 70% or 70 hertz, and so you're meeting other people at 70 hertz. But when we don't have those other people around us, we can oscillate, we can fall pretty far down, or you know what, we can start to pick ourselves up. But what happens when we have other people around that frequency, it keeps us there easier. It's like gives us a platform to rest in, because we have these other people who are all vibrating at our frequency. We don't have to put as much effort in to keep it there, you know? Our daily habits and daily routines, if you're practicing good health, you're exercising, you're eating well, you're feeding your mind good thoughts, you're going to vibrate. You're going to stay here 70 to 80 to 100 hertz, and you're going to naturally attract and gravitate towards other people. And then in those conversations, you boost each other up to 1,000 hertz. You have moments of, I swear, there's conversations I have with a couple of friends where we are just like vibing so high, it feels like it's not just healing for us, but it's healing for the collective, just to be having these conversations. So that's the power of vibrating with other people who are, I don't want to say enlightened, like mindful, maybe, bodyful, are just high vibrational. So then another thing to look out for are the people who, you know, either subtly or obviously would just bring your vibration down. And what that does is, say it's someone who you're an empath, you want to help them out so bad, you can see that they're going through a rough time, and so they're over there vibrating at like 10 hertz, very negative. There's terrible things going on in their lives all the time when you see them. So what that does is you try to bring them up, but we're always going to meet them halfway. Your energy, maybe you have a ton of energy and you can actually lift them up like to a 20 or a 30 hertz, but that still sucks your energy down from 70 to about 50. So we keep putting our energy there, whereas if we weren't, we would be continuing like that light man to be shedding our light on so many other people. And this is a concept I think is very, very important to grasp, is the importance of having those boundaries and knowing our worth and establishing healthy boundaries with people who just try to suck and drain our energy. You know what? You don't have to. And chances are 99% of the time they're not going to change because of us anyways. It's something that needs to shift internally, and most of the time that happens when they hit rock bottom, when they realize that they've disassociated and pushed everybody around because of their choices. It is a choice to stay in a negative mindset. It is your choice to be feeling sorry for yourself every day. And I'm sorry if this is triggering. It is not a fun thing to hear. I know personally. I did not like hearing that the first time. But it is a choice. So it's okay for us to choose also to surround ourselves with people who are putting in an effort. In fact, we should be choosing. That's the only way we're going to grow, is by surrounding ourselves with people who want to grow too. I think it's a very important choice to make that shows we care about our level of self-worth and that we care about ourselves, that we want to nourish ourselves with others who, you know, have the intention of healing and growing and wishing well for others and wanting to create a change, a positive impact, all those kinds of things. Our values should be in alignment. And in that way, we are going to be shining light on just so many other people, because that is how we create a change. You know, we don't create a change by putting, I think I've hit this message on the head, but just to reiterate, we don't create a global change by focusing all our energy on one person. We create a global change by focusing our energy on ourselves, healing. You should look up the story of the prayer, the Hawaiian prayer, Ho'oponopono, and how that message works. Powerful, you guys. Just by wanting better for ourselves, that is how we make a change. Other people see you and are inspired by that. They're like, oh, how did they stay so happy? How are they such a positive person? Why are they, always smiling? What is going on in them? And that is how we become an inspiration. But if we're allowing all our light to be sucked into one place, we're not going to be able to show up as that light, and we're not going to be able to show up as that inspiration for others, because our light has already been drained somewhere. Okay, so that is why it's so important to value ourselves, because it will inspire others to value themselves, and others to, want to feel high vibrational. What if we were all just wanting that for ourselves and being able to shine a light inwards and letting that light start there? And our whole world would be lit up, man. It would be so awesome. So I hope this message made sense. I know it's a little contradictory somewhere, but I hope to have done a good job of explaining the balance on both ends. Why community is so important, the right kind of community. Oh, and that's what else I was going to say. Be careful of people coming back from the past. And I notice this is happening a lot right now. But those who weren't there to support you, or who tried to diminish your worth, or didn't believe in you, didn't believe in your passions when you were going through it, like when you're in the depths of everything, when they start to see that you're doing well and they start coming out of the woodworks and they start showing up, don't do it. Don't do it. It's hard, but don't do it. They showed you who they were, and chances are, if they only, maybe they just did it once, you barely knew each other. Okay, use your discernment. But if they repeatedly showed you in the past who they were, they're not going to be, use your discernment, but just don't be fooled by it, okay? You've learned your worth. Stay strong a little bit longer. The right people are coming in, the ones who respect your worth. You'll be able to see the red flags from the past. You'll be able to see the green flags moving forward. And those who are supportive, have more similar values, keep maintaining and balancing that alone time, because that is the time where you will be able to sit with and see whether these patterns are repeating, or if you're starting to shift and to change them. But you know that better than anyone. That is not a conversation, really. That should be, that's your first, most intimate layer of boundaries. That is a conversation to have with yourself first, okay? And then let it expand. But internally, maybe with a therapist, just really treat that as a prized possession, those awarenesses and those thoughts, okay? That is your yoke. That is your treasure. That is for you to know, okay? Try to just hold on to it yourself for like a month, or with a therapist again, or write it down. And when you feel called to, you can try sharing those awarenesses with others. But really value yourself. That is the message I have for you today. Please feel free to leave any comments, questions down below, or suggestions of topics you'd like me to speak on. Always happy to do that. Sorry these videos are so random and spaced out. I'm going to work on having a more consistent schedule, but at the same time, I just make them when I'm called to. So There's not really a lot of pressure on it. I trust that this will find who it's meant to find, when it's meant to be found, and as always, always sending this with so much love and so much light. Always doing my best to be in my highest vibration in making these. Alright, love you lots. Have a beautiful day.